New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC, and North Carolina Courage. Rain delays, weather delays in this one, but that didn't stop Lynn Williams. The lone goal, game-winning goal, coming from Williams in the 80th minute, a 1-0 scoreline in this one. Gotham picking up all 3 points. What a long game. I did, in fact, at one point, when because I believe Portland and Racing Louisville, it's a bad man shirt. Come on. Lucy saying Sandra rocking the Gotham shirt. Whatever makes you all happy, of course. I think at one point when all the games were kicking off on this day, Portland and Louisville were actually the last game to kick off. But even when that game was done, I did go back and try to check the stream just to make sure that, in fact, Gotham and North Carolina were actually over, because this game took forever to actually get going. Tough to ask a team to stay loose, stay ready in such a lengthy weather delay. When the lightning strikes, the game gets delayed, and that's what we ran into in this one. But I think with the delays, even I was like, well, Gotham's going to take this late in the game, right? Because that's what they do. Weather delay or not, that's how their goals have happened for this team this year. We're not seeing Gotham as one of these teams who's going to strike you really, really early and kind of bust open the game within the opening 15 minutes. But I think that's okay for right now in these early phases of the season, with their new head coach, Juan Carlos Amoros, and sort of what they are trying to build there over the course of the regular season. I don't know if this is going to be a team in the final 4 weeks of the season versus the first 4 weeks of the season, where we're going to see them still kind of have to go over a long roadmap to get to a goal in late second half stages. But I think if you've got Lynn Williams, you've got a good shot to go ahead and pick up all 3 points.
Well, and I think you got to give like a kudos to the defense, right?
Yeah.
I think they used to have, it's kind of they used to have the Orlando problem that we were just talking about, right? Which is the attack would struggle. Like the Gotham attack last year was troublesome, and then that put unnecessary pressure on their back line, and then the back line would concede, and people will go, "What's wrong with the back line?" And it's like, well, it's like a whole thing. And so I think you're seeing the opposite flow, which I think is important for them. They've really, I found something that works for them on defense. And then, yeah, they have the playmakers that they need. I mean, Yasmin Ryan had an excellent game, I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, and as you said, if you just keep working into it, if you stay calm, that's the other thing that's been really impressive to me about Lynn Williams so far this season is, she's back from a long-term injury. It's been a while since she's seen consistent professional minutes, but every single one of her strikes so far this season have just been like, it's like the Matrix. Like she sees the game slow down. She places things really, really well, so they're unsavable. And I think that is maybe a good encapsulation of some of the difference in mentality for Gotham this season. They just seem calm. They seem like they really are trusting the process, and it helps when you're getting results early, which they are, which also makes sense because they've got this balance of league veterans that are able to put things together quickly, as well as some younger players. So yeah, I've been really impressed by Gotham.
I really appreciate the body language. I don't think folks maybe look at that sometimes, maybe sometimes they don't, but I think watching this team kind of go through what they went through last year, where they were just grinding through everything just to ultimately lose games, it's tough. That's tough on the mentals, I think, going through a course of a long season like that. And even when it maybe feels like, when you're watching the game where it's just like, oh, like, how's this going to turn out? Is someone going to squeak in a late shot? I mean, we just saw Denise O'Sullivan crush Orlando Pride from outside the box. Is that what it's going to come down to in a game like this? But no, that's not what it came down to in a game like this. I think that's a little bit of we're seeing that little bit of a difference from last year, that this is a Gotham team that's going to somehow figure out a way to actually squeeze out that result versus just sort of passing away. Like, be like some, because again, that grind is tough on the mentals, and sometimes you're just like, you know what, I'm done with this. I've ran for 89 minutes and no longer want to run. I get it. Who really wants to do that unless you are a very talented player in the NWSL? But all 3 points, and Gotham is making some noise early, I think, in terms of any of the off-season content that we were doing, right? Like, what is Gotham going to look like? Like, will they actually be contenders? Blah 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 blah. Right? All of those things that we were pushing out on our very respective websites. But I like that. I like that they're kind of making some noise early, and maybe doing it in a way that people didn't 100% anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still early days, right? Still
Yeah.
early days, and I think when you talk about winning games late, I'm sure they'd rather have things a little bit more under control earlier. And we did see them have some trouble with the Rain, who are a very good team, but when you're coming off of the season that they had last year, I think that what happens later is influenced by what happens right now, and so the more you can get that buy-in, brand new coach, a little bit of a new squad setup. Yeah, I think that these games are important, whether or not, Gotham ends in the top 4. But I do think they are absolutely playoff contenders with this group.